Good morning, Big
Big Spring
Springs Camp.
Camp. It's another
Beautiful
beautiful
day
day
in the
in the Poconos.
Poconos.
Or at least it would be if we weren't in quarantine.
Oh,
Hello,
yeah.
hello everyone. Welcome to the first episode, the first official episode of the Big Springs Life podcast. This time, social distancing edition. It's been quite a while since our episode zero last summer. Hopefully, this summer gonna be a lot more regular about it. So without any further ado, we've also changed channels. We're no longer on we're now going official. The camp and council have has decided to adopt our program. They liked episode zero so much they want to use us for promotion. So we're going to be living on the Resica Falls YouTube channel now.
Ooh. Ah, special. How special? Very special.
It's not that special. It's free advertising. So anyway, for today's episode, we have a very special guest. Special guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I am Nick Koft. This is my seventh summer working at camp. I was going to be a commissioner before the whole virtual camp program was initiated. So this summer I am one of the counselors for geology, American heritage, and environmental science.
Yeah, and we're gonna have an entire episode about the transition to digital camp and comparing it to in-person camp, but that'll come at a later date. Today's episode is the average day. Most of our campers know what the average day looks like for them. They don't really know what it's like for us, what we go through to make sure camp runs as smooth as possible. So that's what we want to talk about. I think it's a good starting point, lay the baseline for the summer. So
Okay.
yeah, just as a disclaimer, uh, this focus is going to be on what the average day in the life would be for in-person camp at Resica Falls. It's very
Alright.
similar, but there are a couple of different things that go on for it. So, as we start off every single episode of the Big Springs Life podcast with our Good Morning Big Springs Camp staff, what is the first thing we do, Nick?
Well, first thing in the morning, we get a nice wake up call from our glorious program director or assistant program director, making sure everyone
Or
is ready for program.
commissioner or senior staff member, literally anyone. Um,
That's fair, but typically it's
yeah, and that usually gets called about 15 minutes before colors. Colors is 8 o'clock in the morning, so we'll call it around 7:45. We'll start running through the rows, banging on tents, shouting out, trying to get people to rise and shine and get dressed and get ready for colors.
mhm.
Now, a few unfortunate souls have breakfast A, and a few even more unfortunate souls have polar bear.
I've never done that before, and I really don't envy the people who have to.
Yeah. So polar bear, for those unaware, is our early morning swim. It takes place at 7 in the morning. And if you're a lifeguard, so you work in aquatics, you have a schedule to attend that for, and you gotta get there early to make sure everything's working and running. So they're getting up even earlier.
I think usually it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 6:30 they have to 6:30 they have to be there.
I think it's closer to 6:30 because polar bear starts at 7.
Yeah.
And then for those eating breakfast A, that's 7:30. Uh, then 8 o'clock is colors.
Then immediately
Uh,
following is meal B.
there'll be one more thing to mention though is for those select few that participate in the Resica Falls Cardio Activity of Choice Club, of which I am the sole member and president of, get up even earlier and then do cardio activity of choice. I run. I've tried to get people to bike or swim, but a scout is physically fit, so get that in there.
You're just a mad lad, Andy.
Uh, I am just a mad lad, but someone's got to do it. So yeah, so we wake up, we wake everyone up, we shout, we yell, we march out for colors, good old morning colors.
hmm Occasionally have
Uh,
Scoutcraft do a crazy thing for staff report.
it's usually not morning as much. It's usually more evening. We do the silly stuff for.
Yeah, but typically when the silly things happen in the morning, it's Scoutcraft that's doing them.
Correct. No, that's fair.
My favorite is
After,
when they all piled out of that single tent.
oh yes. For those unaware, for it's Dan Beard on Thursday night, we run the Dan Beard Rescue Rangers overnighter. So for a first year camper program, they go up to the lake one night, they camp out, they have a fun time, and then they come back down that morning, Friday morning. And what they've done in the past is set up a tent in the middle of the parade field and then cram all of Ranger staff into that tent. I don't know how they do it,
It's
but
Im-
they do it.
it's impressive seeing 7 people pile out of that tent.
Oh yes, yes it is. They're all wearing pajamas. It's funny. It's a good laugh. So yeah, so we march out the colors. Troops do their reports. Flags go up. We SPLs take charge of units. You're dismissed outside dining hall. But then the staff, we have our little impromptu staff meeting. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you might be wondering why we're all huddling up there every day, but that's what we're doing. We're listening to the wise words of our program director, our camp director, assistant camp director, anyone who's got anything to say. That's where we give information to the staff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I've made more than my fair share of announcements as a
okay.
commissioner for the during that meeting.
What kind of announcements are you making?
As a commissioner, usually what I would be announcing would be the various programs that the commissioner staff is running. Typically, the action areas, which occur every day of the week except for Friday after 4 o'clock, and then other staff programs that are going on. So, you know, yearbook articles, collecting for that, and just stuff that I need the whole staff to be aware of.
Yeah, it can be anything. It can be, hey, just as a reminder, this is our program for the day. If you've signed up or been voluntold to run it, be there to run it. It can be, hey, we're doing great. There's donuts in the office after breakfast. Go get yourself a donut. So yeah, it's we usually try to keep them quick, but if a lot of people have stuff, they can go a while.
Usually it's
Uh,
best to let the staff eat. They get rather
yeah,
ravenous when they don't.
yeah. We all go eat brekkie, or if you ate breakfast A, you get ready for program. Um, Nick, what's your favorite breakfast from camp?
My favorite breakfast, ooh, I think I'm gonna have to go for French toast day.
French toast day.
French toast with the sausage links.
Ooh, I am I didn't eat breakfast.
Yeah, I'm usually in that club, but on the off chance that I do eat breakfast.
If I did eat breakfast, it was usually um, uh, yogurt, about like a half and half mix of like strawberry plain, some fruit, and then granola, and like that was my breakfast.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. This last summer we had bananas with breakfast and I was ecstatic. It's
You
like,
always have bananas with
no,
breakfast.
you past few years there wasn't bananas around for breakfast. It was just
Really?
last year was the first year in a while.
Mm. Frozen apples and bananas. And then after breakfast, which is at 8, get through that. It's around like 8:40, 8:45. We get the Mad Dash to program.
Oh yeah.
Nick, why do you think it's the Mad Dash to program?
Because a lot of the staff are coming out of breakfast and then they have to go to their tents, get everything they need for program, and then typically go to the far reaches of the reservation for program all in 15 minutes.
Yeah, so we tried to balance this out with the meals. Usually we tried to have the farther away areas eat breakfast A. That way they had more time to get to program. But every now and again you get areas like the shop that eat breakfast B, and then they eat, and then they say till dismissal, and then 8:45 they gotta book it because we gotta be there to open up the setups. That way,
Hmm.
right as 9 o'clock morning program starts, they are rocking and ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Moving on. Our morning program is next. What a great segue that was. Uh, what's in our morning program? What do we do? What can scouts do from
Eh,
9 to noon?
for scouts, they primarily have their merit badge program. All of the various program areas around the reservation, or they could go to COPE for their COPE course, or ATV for the ATV program, which are outside the merit badge program but still fit in the same schedule. And then for staff, typically they're either going to teach their badges or the teaching the programs that I mentioned or other various responsibilities.
Yeah. So
So, go for it.
yeah, no. So this time period, the 9 to 12, the morning program, it's the bread and butter of what we do.
Hmm.
For a lot of people, it's the main draw. It's the main event. It's the Super Bowl. It's the center ring of the circus. It's meat and potatoes.
Hmm.
It's another food
It,
reference.
it is the core of camp.
Yeah, it's the core of the program we offer. And excluding odd circumstances such as COPE being that entire 9 to noon block, it is divided into three 50-minute sections. So there's first block, second block, third block, 9 to 9:50, 10 to 10:50, 11 to 11:50.
Hmm.
That way, kind of breaks things up. And scouts are smart. They'll do it so that way. Maybe they'll have first period at sports, and then second period at scoutcraft, and then like third period at the health lodge. Nick, is that your experience in what scouts do?
No. A lot of the times we've had scouts, 9 a.m. they're at Eco for Invisai, and then 10 o'clock they're at the lake for fishing. And they've got 15 minutes to get all the way between the two.
Oh yes. Word of advice to anyone listening and looking at going to in-person camp, hopefully for 2021. Look at the map when you're registering for badges. Uh,
Hmm.
this happens a lot. I remember last summer I went up to the STEM Center, which is at the far end of camp, to check up on them as my responsibilities indicate. And I had three scouts come up to me on Monday and say, "Hey, how do I get to the lake?"
Oh, oh no.
So I had to explain the trail system and say they could either go all the way back to main camp, go up the
Green
uh,
Trail.
yeah, the green trail behind the trading post, or they could take the white trail behind Cove.
Neither of those are particularly quick routes,
No, they are not. Uh,
and
so,
both of them are a good bit uphill too.
yeah, but
And I mean, there is the shuttle between Unami Lodge and the lake, but that only
yeah,
runs at certain times, and if you miss it, you kind of
yeah,
miss it.
we've pulled back on it too. It's only running like twice a day.
Yeah,
Um,
it's first after breakfast be run, and then a run before afternoon program runs.
yeah, it usually fills up with staff for lake staff.
Yeah.
It's more of a courtesy. So yeah, so us were running the badges. Most staff depends on the area. Some will teach every period. Some maybe get a period off to do paperwork. Um,
hmm
it fluctuates depending on the area.
Yeah, when I was at Eco, I would usually have a period off at some point in the day to catch up on paperwork or sit in on somebody else's class to get more experience teaching, see what they're doing well. But then that's when I was at Civics, I was teaching every period of the day.
Yeah, yeah. So then morning program's over. It's 11:50. You've just dismissed your last class of the morning period. Where are we going to now?
Lunch?
Lunch and siesta.
Oh yeah.
So lunch, much like um, breakfast and dinner, is divided into two meals. It's A and B. However, it is cafeteria style, meaning
hmm
they get their trays. But for us, for the staff, there's
Yeah.
one little benefit
We
is that
we're before the rest of the camp's meals. There's meal A, meal B, and before meal A, there's the staff lunch.
yeah, so we get their staff lunch is 12 to 12:20, and it's not because we decided to set the rules that way to improve our own situation. It's because we're running lunch clubs and program during the meals. When
hmm
you're not eating, you have the option to either chillax and relax and hang out in your campsite or do lunch clubs like Gaga, D&D, um, all sorts of
hmm
weird, wacky things we envision. So
Yep.
we need to make sure that we can eat, so that way we can run that program.
Yep. Also, a lot of directors and higher level staff will spend their lunch period catching up on paperwork as well if they had missed anything.
Yeah. So similar vein as breakfast. Uh, what's your favorite lunch we've had at camp?
Ooh, it's a hard choice between Taco Tuesday and Tendies Day.
Yeah, Tendy's Day is a good day. Um, so my tech was back when we, every now and again, we'll have specialty bars, which are sandwiches and a
Yes.
bunch of different things. Those are usually really good.
Yeah, they are.
But the thing is, they fluctuate. So the menu for the cafeteria style will change week to week, and then the specialty bar will change. But every now and again, like the stars in the sky, they will ever so perfectly align. So that way, the pasta bar day lines up on tendy day, and then you can make chicken parm.
hmm my favorite was when pulled pork day aligned with loaded baked potato day,
That's also a good day.
because then you
Uh,
could put the pulled pork onto your potato and make potato skins out of it.
Other classic lunches from the staff perspective, because this is all stuff U.S. campers would be able to do. Um, directors meeting every Sunday night after the opening campfire. We have directors meeting where all the area directors meet up to go over the week, relay any information, get our merit badge lists out, etc., etc. But they're usually catered because, check-in's hectic. We might be missing dinner. It's a nice little treat reward for us, and we get leftovers. So Monday lunch is
Yeah.
leftovers day.
You and your cold rice.
We've done. Okay, I never did cold rice.
Or it,
But
you had cold Chinese leftover something.
the dumplings,
That's it. Cold dumplings.
cold
That's
dumplings. For those who want the insight on the meme, I'm a monster, and I'll usually just like I'm impatient because I probably didn't eat breakfast. I just want to get food into my stomach. I'll just eat it cold. Like there have been things I've eaten leftovers cold that I am not proud of eating cold, such as ribs, barbecue chicken.
it, it.
Um,
It's always interesting seeing what Andy will eat cold that day.
I've eaten cold leftover McDonald's.
That's just sad, Andy.
No, my lowest point, and I regret this. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Was some cold cream chip beef over cold home fries.
Oh, Andy. Andy, no.
That was my lowest point. I got one bite in and I was like, nope, nope, not doing this. This was a mistake.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it was. That's why I only got one bite in.
Th-
And another luxury most campers and staff don't get is on Thursday was the SPL luncheon. We'd order pizza from Frank's, which is a local pizza place. And if you're trying to do a pizza party with your troop, I would recommend Frank's Pizza. It's about like 15 minutes out of camp, so it's
Best
the
pizza
closest.
in the Poconos.
Yeah,
It's so good.
it's also the closest.
Fair.
Um, yeah, so yeah, I'd get pizza that day. Um, and then there's usually a bunch left over for the staff to devour.
Hmm.
So we've eaten, staff's eaten. The two staff members that were assigned to go run lunch clubs are running their lunch clubs. A couple of directors are chilling in Unami, doing paperwork, catching up. Some staff are working with campers that maybe missed a day and want to catch up. But what's everyone else up to?
Well, campers have the lunch clubs that they can go to, or they can make up any work they missed for whatever reason. OA ordeal, uh, troop trips, any reason they missed a day of program, they can use the lunch siesta to make that up, or
Like,
they could
what's the staff doing?
the staff. For the most part, they're taking a siesta, a well-earned break.
Yeah, this is our. They recharge their batteries. They chill in the staff area. They play their magical cards. They play their game cubes and such. They get into general hijinks in the staff area.
Lots of Gaga, lots
Oh
of
yeah, a lot of
Gaga.
gaga. A lot of naps too.
Oh yeah,
It's just chilling
which
because as soon as 1:45 rolls around, mad dash back to program.
hmm I don't understand how they take naps during their lunch siesta. Those tents during the afternoon get so hot. I
Yeah.
would actually melt trying to sleep in there during the day.
So, for those who have attended camp and maybe peered into the staff area, you kind of know what's going on. But for those who haven't, it's pretty much just a field with a grid of the canvas tents just running each way.
Hmm.
Um, and there's very little shade, so it gets very warm during some of the hotter weeks of camp.
It gets warm even when it's cool. Just
Yeah,
the direct, constant, direct sunlight.
yeah. But there's a couple of things, we've improvised, adapted, we've overcome. Um, so for those lucky few that get to camp early, so like the directors, the A team, the people who show up early for some reason, we can snag the outside tents.
Mhm.
So we trade bug infestation for shade, um, which I think is a worthwhile trade
Mhm.
personally. But if you're not so lucky, there's a couple of things you can do. Since our tents have electricity, we always buy Walmart out of their box fans in the first
Oh
couple of
yeah.
days. Um, if you get a tarp, put the silver side over top, it reflects the light back and
Mhm.
makes it a little more bearable. You open the flaps. Um,
Yeah. When I lived in one of those tents, I, you know, snagged one of the outside tents, got the silver side of the tarp up, a little bit of distance between tarp and the tent, had a fan going, anything to keep it cool in there.
yeah, so it's doable. It's not by any means air conditioned, but you can make it pretty comfortable.
Mhm.
So yeah,
And
for 145. Oh, sorry, continue.
and when it gets cold at night, sometimes the residual heat from the day is pretty nice at night.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So 145 rolls around. We're dashing back to program. It's afternoon program. For the most part, it's pretty much the same.
Mhm.
Uh, Badges, only difference is now there's two sessions because it runs 2 to 4, so 2 to 250, 3 to 350. Uh, but we've got a couple of really only one new program that runs during this time. Uh, what's that, Nick?
Action areas.
No, no, that's after. What runs like
Oh.
2 to 5?
Oh, two to
2 to
five,
4.
two to four. That's badges or high five.
High five, that's what I'm getting at. So, High five is our high adventure program. Each day, the counselor in charge of that runs whatever kind of wacky adventure the campers want to run on that. The amount of times the high five directors come into Unami and been like, I need a trip plan form because my kids want to make a raft and sail it down the Bushkill, and we have to say no. And they're like, build a raft and sail it across the lake. And we're like, that's doable. So,
Oh, I am oh so aware of trip plans after they invaded my desk last summer.
yeah. But so that's high five, and that's really the main difference. It's just more badges. It's high five.
Mhm.
There's a couple trainings for the adults that happen during this time, but
Mhm. You know, the napping merit badge. Iowa less will run in the afternoon sometimes.
yeah,
Uh, home away from home training. You know,
yeah,
because as much as the program is focused towards kids getting their badges, the adults are there too, so they should have something to do themselves.
yeah. All right. So yeah, then after um 4 o'clock, the last badges dissipate and the kids run away. Now what do we get into?
Now it's action areas.
Now it's action areas. What are action areas?
Action areas are a set of pre-planned programs that certain program areas will run from the 4 to 50 block. And every day except for Friday, there's two program areas that are running action areas. Typically theme based and just fun non-badge stuff for kids to do.
Yeah. For the observant people who've noticed, we say every day except Friday for pretty much a lot of these extra programs. That's because Friday is Blue Cards Day. So
Crunch day.
at Crunch Day, yeah. So at 4 o'clock at the last badge, the area is shut down for pretty much everything except for like catching up on any requirements you need to do because it is the staff sits down and they hammer out the blue cards so that way they're ready for blue card reconciliation.
Hmm. And for some program areas, they get that done. They could split, an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Some take it all the way to 7 o'clock. Blue card rec starts, or 8 o'clock when blue card rec starts because they have so many bad blue cards they need to fill out.
7:30.
7:30. That's it.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Some I've seen areas still filling them out at blue card rec.
Yep. That's always
Um,
fun.
but yeah. So for the average day, if an area isn't running um, action areas at the 4 to 5 time block, they are usually doing paperwork or catching up with scouts,
Hmm.
um, cleaning up their areas, so yada yada yada.
Hmm.
And then 5 starts kind of the pre-dinner chill.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, as always, there's dinner A, dinner B. Dinner A is 5:30. So these are usually the simpler areas to break down. So like handicraft is dinner B, I believe, usually. Um, so they get time to break it down. So they go 5:30, Class A. They eat their food. They sing their songs. Um, we could have probably an entire episode about meals and dining hall, but one thing to mention is the songs and waitering. It's a very hectic mad dash to get a staffer to pick up the songbook and sing a song.
Yeah.
Um, because we want to, because there's a couple like myself, I'd be happy singing a song every meal, but
Yeah.
I don't think the scouts want to hear my golden pipes 10 times a week.
Yeah, and then there's me where I'm terrified getting up in front of the whole dining hall and singing even a few lines.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's that. The dinner A crew goes and eats, and then 6:15 is colors. But at 6 o'clock we do another fall in for colors. We shout, we yell. Evening
Hmm.
colors time. We get every single staff member asking if we're doing a Class B colors. Um,
Sometimes it's hot enough for that.
Sometimes not enough for that. But there have been times where it's like 11 o'clock in the morning and I've gotten staff asking me if we can do a Class B colors because it's projected to be warm that day. And I'm like, I don't know now it's projected, but
Uh huh.
it could be different. Staff lines up two by however many rows.
Hmm. Occasionally, we do a little bit more of announcements like, hey, we need somebody to help out with this after dinner program, or, good job today. We heard a lot of good things. Just a little extra announcements before colors.
Yeah, keep them up. We march out. Usually for evening colors, we'll have a staff band. Um, we line up. We do our colors. Troops do their reports. But for some reason, what do troops usually do at evening colors, Nick?
They think of the longest possible skit that they could do to drag out evening colors, so we're all standing there in the sun,
Yeah,
and make a whole spectacle, a whole display out of evening colors.
yeah. Which don't get me wrong, like simple things are fine and fun.
Yeah.
Um,
And there are some that, even if they are long, they're so good that it's worth it. You'll get
yeah,
the whole parade field laughing.
yeah. But like an example of simpler ones are like I've had troops just say the report in different languages. I've seen one's gravity check, where a kid will kind of just yell gravity check and yeet themselves at the ground.
Or the people
Um,
who do it with the like horse masks on or like the pigeon head.
yeah. Then the longer ones. Nick, what's your favorite longest one you've witnessed?
My favorite longest one that I've witnessed would probably be the one troop who built a cardboard boat and actually attempted to row themselves across the parade field, despite there being no water to row themselves with. So
Yeah,
it took them like 10 minutes to get where they needed to go.
yeah, that's a fun one. I've seen, for some reason, every troop, so many troops do this, and I think they're hilarious. They will leapfrog
Oh, yeah,
two scouts from their troop all the way
to the
to the
program
program
director
director. So they'll do their report and then
and
leapfrog
leapfrog
back.
back. Yep.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's never fun. Like this, if you're listening to this, if you're a camper and you're listening to this, and you have done a leapfrog or the tire or the run up, give a note, walk back, skip back, or whatever, know that like when the staff is eating at dinner, we're being like, why do these troops do this? Why?
Because what a lot of troops don't realize is they have their back to the sun, so it's not too bad for them. The staff is standing facing the sun.
Yeah,
We are all standing there burning.
yeah. And don't get me wrong, like sometimes like we are not without sin. We have
Oh no, we are not.
um we've done our own extravagant little things. The three most common are well, two
This
most common for evening colors
Mr.
are
President, get down.
Mr. President get down or Mr. Program Director get down and change places or fill the hole.
Hmm.
In order of funniest to least funniest to funniest, they are change places in which the staff just scrambles and goes random places. There is fill the hole. Uh, Nick, what's fill the hole?
Fill the hole is when if we have a small week at camp and there's gaps in the parade field where a troop usually would be. Well, the staff fills that hole.
Yeah, uh, we usually do these like once, and it's usually Friday dinner.
Hmm.
Uh, but then the best one, the most perfect one, the one everyone loves, is Mr. Program Director Get Down,
Hmm.
which is nothing more than an excuse to tackle our program director.
Or whoever's doing the call out that evening. Last summer, what uh, I would do the evening program call out on Thursday because that was the leaders' dinner,
Yeah,
and program director was out doing things. You the APD were out. I think you were driving the night out vans.
yeah.
So I was the one doing call out, and they decided to Mr. Program Director me.
Mhm.
Uh, Turns out tackling a 6 foot tall, 250 pound person not easy.
Yeah.
They literally
Uh,
just were pushing me back, but couldn't actually take me down.
yeah, it's always an interesting process seeing the person's reaction to it. Um, our current program director kind of just accepts his fate and it just turns into a group hug. Uh, when I've been done, I just accept my fate and lie down and kind of commit to the bit. Our
Previous one,
leaders,
one would just sprint. He would go
yes,
running off.
yeah. We have when he was up for it, not up for it, like agreeing with it, but when we're doing it to him, we would position staff
In
amongst the troops.
to try to head him off.
Yeah. So like he would sprint across the parade field towards Scoutcraft, and then like me and another staff member would pop out from the troops. He'd towards the staff area. Two more staff members pop out from
Mm-hmm.
behind Tom the Toad. He goes towards the pool. Two more staff members. People from the back pin him and get him.
Uh-huh. I think only once he actually successfully evaded capture.
Yeah, that was a surprising day. He was faster than all of us.
Yeah, he was a lanky dude.
Yeah.
Wiggly.
So yeah, yeah. So then we troop support's done. Flags come down. Fold them up. Run them back. Eat dinner. Uh, Again, third one. What's your favorite dinner, Nick?
Oh, easily roast beef night. Friday night.
Roast beef night is a good night.
That's my favorite meal of the entire summer. I love roast beef night.
It's fair. I am partial towards meatloaf night.
That's usually my night off. I haven't had meatloaf night in a couple of years now.
Yeah, usually I get the short end of the stick on this as well. But usually just a salad because you get sick of the meals.
Oh yeah.
Meatloaf night is good. For some reason, Tuesday is always pasta.
Mhm.
And we'll get into why this is a problem with the evening program in a little bit. But just keep in mind, Tuesday always pasta.
Mhm. Sunday is always turkey. Tuesday is
Yes,
always pasta. Friday is always roast beef.
big roast beef. Yeah. Other what are some other things there have been?
We had
There's usually like a chick.
fried chicken.
Yeah, fried chicken like mac and cheese is a
Mhm.
thing.
Uh,
Uh,
I think it was 2 years ago. There was General Tso's chicken. They like
that
made
sounds about right.
they made General Tso's chicken and then like stir fry.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Now the worst dinner I have ever had was way back in 2012. It was my first summer on camp staff. It was the seafood paella.
Oh no.
Now, seafood paella is a delicious dish consisting of usually like Spanish rice, some shrimp, some chicken, spices, vegetables, all that kind of stuff. It's delicious if it's done well.
Uh,
This seafood paella had like four pieces of chicken in it and like two pieces of shrimp and then rice.
oh no.
The ratios were not good.
Yeah. Uh, I like in general meal. I think General Tso's was up there with the worst that I had. Um,
Usually the so here's a tech I've developed. I've kind of noticed. Usually the worst meal is Thursday, which is why I always either took off Thursday or drove the van Thursday.
that's very fair. But I
Because,
think the worst food item we've had was last summer's French fry stuffing.
yeah, French fry stuffing.
That was an experience.
So for context, we had like burgers or something um, Sunday for staff lunch during check-in,
Yeah.
before check-in, and there was a ton left over. So rather than let it go to waste, the kitchen did the thrifty thing and incorporated it into the turkey dinner Sunday,
Hmm.
which including bits of French fries in the stuffing.
Which was not great.
I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't.
Good.
Yeah, and then that's so the food we eat. We get dessert. Um, Dessert is always hectic.
Oh yeah. Everybody always wants seconds and thirds.
Well, I was 1 seconds and thirds. We usually have to corral the staff
Hmm.
from prevent them because there's only so much dessert. Like we count everything out.
Hmm.
The kitchen staff counts it out. So when you have staff tables that are half full and every staff table ends up
With
uh,
a dessert tray.
with a dessert tray, we can run out for campers.
Hmm.
so we need to like prevent the staff from getting dessert, which they get huffy at us for, but
Mm-hmm.
they can deal.
Yeah. Usually, if that happens, we get something for them anyway. So, like
Yeah,
ice cream out of the back or
ice cream
whatever.
sandwiches is usually the common one.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and desserts are in
Th-
the same vein as food, hit or miss. Like there have been some real good
Uh huh.
desserts, and then there have been some real bad desserts.
Yeah. I think the worst
Uh,
I can remember was the
you,
peach cobbler.
yeah, use the way. Peach cobbler is a good one. The they've had like tres leches cake, which I did not think was good.
I don't remember that
They've
one.
had
That might have been on one of my nights out.
that might have been that might have also been before your time.
Also possible.
They do like brownies. They've done cookies. They've done ice cream
Last year they had
sandwiches.
the Boston cream pie dessert. That was so good.
It's good. Lemon meringue pie, apple pie.
Oh yeah.
Um, Probably the worst one I've had in a while was this like apple turnover strudel
I remember that one, yeah.
kind of thing. It was just dry and
Hmm.
bland.
Also, in the vein of running out of things, when you mentioned that earlier, reminded me, chalky milk.
Yeah, chalky
That
milk.
is a evening adventure.
You
Always
think
balancing how much chalky milk we go through.
any campers here? You think you all go crazy for chocolate milk? The staff, the amount of staff that I have seen gorge themselves on chocolate milk
And drink themselves sick.
to the point of throwing up is too many.
Uh huh.
And let me be clear, one would be too many.
Yes.
Um,
I've seen probably close to a dozen at this point.
yeah. Every now and again, there'll be, because like it's milk product, they got burned through it. Every now and again on our days off, the milk dispensers will be filled with chocolate milk, and the staff in there, it's
Turn
just
into animals.
they turn into animals. Well, most of them don't realize it because they'll. I'm not going to share that information because that'll end poorly if I do.
Yeah.
Watch this
I
listen and
I
watch
know
it.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. We
But
have secrets we will not share. Uh, Maybe if we somehow get a million subscribers, we'll share
we'll
the
share
advanced
the chalky
secrets.
milk secret.
We'll share all the secrets about camp we can't share. Um,
But
but yeah, so then yeah, so then we eat, and then we move on to, in my opinion, probably my favorite part of the program, which
I
is
I agree.
our evening programs.
Evening programs are so much fun.
And now, yeah, and now with evening programs, just for context, these things can run from like anywhere between 7:30 to 9 usually for start days. But
Yeah.
um, for ones, I'll kind of go through this day by day, the standard program. So Monday, the big event is the Monday night games, which run us through the Monday night games.
So the Monday night games usually start before dinner B, where program director, sports director, and some friends they all eat meal A, do colors, and then once colors ends, they move on to do setup for Monday night games, which includes filling hundreds of water balloons, setting up various nets and uh, stations, moving pieces of equipment, and then once meal B starts, or once meal B ends, sorry, we dismiss the dining hall. Troops start to disperse to campsites or wherever it is they plan on going. Uh,
The smart ones remain close.
yep, or the ones who have come to camp before.
Yeah.
Um, then, shortly after the dinner ends and the field is mostly set up, we sound our emergency alarm, which we
Yes.
go for it.
This is the drill one.
Yeah,
This is the test. Make sure you know what to do.
yeah, and which our policy is it gets all of the troops from wherever they are and brings them to the center of camp, the parade field. And once they do parade field, they report their numbers, make sure everyone's there. The program director dismisses them to the camp-wide games. And then what follows is, I believe, an hour and a half of everything that we can do. Usually there's like 2 dozen games running across the parade field and the campcraft areas.
Yeah. And it's chaos, but like in my opinion, the best kind of chaos.
It is.
Um, because sometimes it devolves a little too far. Like we have to stop the staff from throwing water balloons at each other.
Mhm.
But like when you're just walking around and you're seeing like campers chasing a staff member wearing a rubber duck costume, and they're all just dying of laughter. Or you see,
Oh, Jiffy running around in a duck costume is a memory I will take with me to the grave. It is amazing.
or you see a staff member hula hooping like their life depends on it against a camper as they're circled by both staff and campers.
As their life
Like,
actually does depend on it.
yeah, like a lot of the staff likes to complain about the Monday night games, but
Yeah, they do.
the Monday night games are just as like what the campers put into it, you get out of it.
Yeah.
It's like there are campers that go through it and they're just there to rack up points and um, try and win the things, or they bail on it immediately, and they're not there to have fun. And there are staff that show up to just run their game and be done with it.
Mhm.
Because when we developed the program, we designed some games. But one thing we always tell the staff is you can take your game and make it your own. You can change it up.
Mhm.
You can swap it around. The only thing we require is that it's safe, it's appropriate, and you keep the scoring consistent. Like, that's it. In 2016, when we did superheroes, um, I ended up halfway through the summer changing my costume to a Captain America costume.
Mhm.
And then with that, I changed my game to I got some tin cans, I lined them up on the Gaga pit, I handed the kids frisbees, and I made Captain America's Shield Toss Challenge.
Mhm.
And it was great.
Yeah, in 2018, I think it was Ocean Island Adventure.
Yeah,
Me and Dan Gottschalk were running the dunk tank,
yeah,
and it was just a constant revolving door of what kids want to do and what would make it more fun. Like there was a point where, like at the start of the summer, it was just kids line up, throw the softball at the plate, and if it hits, it dunks a staff member. By the end of the summer, we had kids, almost doing like a firing range where like they had different distances back. They would try to hit the plate. You had kids and adult leaders getting in the dunk tank to be dunked.
yeah. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Uh, then as all fun things must end, we start wrapping up the games usually around like 8:45 when it
Yeah.
starts getting darker, um, because it's not really good, well lit.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, 9 o'clock, the select few, the
Ooh.
lucky ones, get to attend.
The Scoutmaster Swim and Dutch Oven Dessert Contest.
Yeah, and don't forget the barbecue.
Oh, and well, of course the barbecue. That goes with the swim.
Yeah, so we have our own adult swim, except
Hmm.
we do not show cartoons in ours.
Nope. Just swimming and barbecue.
The swimming and barbecue, and the leaders make their delicious desserts, and then we judge them.
Uh-huh. I was in charge of the dessert contest last summer. There was some really good stuff.
There's some amazing stuff. Um, so like, cause it has a reputation, so we usually try to keep it to like commissioners and admin staff because
Yeah.
this is like the rubbing elbows with the meet and greet. The
Hmm.
If you have the thing, you can talk to the program director in like a fun manner. Like
Yeah.
we're just there to chill and have fun, eat some burgers, eat some dessert. But like so many staff try to like sneak in and
Uh-huh.
like snag a burger and like snag some desserts. But
Usually what'll happen is if there's any leftover burgers and hot dogs, it'll be left in the staff area and gone by morning.
we'll be gone in 10 minutes. Let's be honest here.
Well, yeah, but usually the
Um,
person who drops it doesn't stick around long enough to see it disappear.
yeah. But then the Dutch on dessert competition, leaders make stuff. I've seen it says dessert competition, but I think that's been lost in translation because I've seen like Scotch eggs and like chicken pot pies and like
La-
Dutch oven lasagna.
Last summer, there was a scoutmaster who made a Dutch oven like it was like chopped steak with vegetables,
Yeah,
but it was also like really sweet somehow. I don't understand how, but they said it was supposed to be like a dessert steak, which I'd never heard of. It was really good,
yeah.
but it
But yeah,
was weird for dessert.
some of these leaders can like make some mean Dutch oven desserts
Oh yeah.
and like it's a treat. But every now and again, we get like a frozen apple pie that they kind of just like stuck into a Dutch oven and heated in their campfire,
Hmm.
and we have to kind of explain to them that like no,
You're not winning first place for this.
yeah, as we just like the staff just like the four of us just like chowing down on all these desserts and then keep
Like,
them in suspense.
mm,
Yeah, and then eventually that ends. The leaders get tired and they go to bed, and then we all go to bed. And then
sometimes.
sometimes, and then Tuesday evening programs usually it's a bit more simple. There's really only two things going on. There is as I refer to it, the triathlon, though the name changes each summer.
I still am guilty of calling it the Apache Challenge, which is what it was my first year on staff.
Yeah. So for context, it's been the Iron Man challenge. It's been the Apache challenge. It's been Captain Reska's Trial of Strength. It's been the Caveman Crawl. It's been the Big Kahuna Challenge. It's been the Great Space Race. It's been
A lot of things.
um, this summer. It would have been the Ringmasters Run.
Ooh, I like that alliteration.
They all alliterate.
I know, but I like that one specifically, Andy. Let me have this.
Oh, that's fair. And what it consists of is so from sports, you run to the lake along the
Green Trail.
green trail. At the lake, you kayak about half a mile, and then you run the white trail from the lake to archery. Once you cross into archery, your time stops, you rest for a little bit, and then you shoot. You get 5 arrows, and then it's like for every point you score, that's a second deducted from your time.
Yeah.
Um, Fun fact: for last summer, I held the record for highest archery score, um,
Nice.
but my mediocre runtime did not. But yeah, no, we have staff run it, but
Yeah.
they don't
Next summer you'll
compete.
next summer you'll take gold, Andy. Don't worry.
Yeah, the staff can run it if they are free that evening, but if they place first,
They don't get the
they're
award.
exhibitionists.
Yeah.
They're just doing it to do it.
Mhm.
And for those who remembered and were astute listeners, this is why it's a terrible idea for us to carbo load the scouts Tuesday night. um,
Oh, so many horror stories.
yeah, we finish dinner 6:30. Well, you start dinner 6:30. You finish around 7. You've eaten your spaghetti and meatballs. You've eaten your
Bread.
cake, your bread, your chalky milk, and then 7:15 you're running the lake trail.
Which,
And
for those of you who don't know, the lake trail is half a mile, I believe.
the entire running section is about a 5K.
Okay.
So
I don't remember how long the blue trail is to the lake or the green trail is to the lake, but for a good 2/3 of it, it is like this steep. Like
yeah, it's
you are running at like easily a
there.
45, 50-degree angle.
I'm not gonna be using the video. It's gonna be the static background. It's very steep though for context.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's the Ringmasters run, and then we have Twilight programming, which consists of the Tuesday night Twilight programming was. Do you remember what those
I
ones were?
think it's twilight boating
Yeah,
and
Twilight boating.
a night owl.
Yeah, there's some other thing.
Well, because Twilight Cope is Thursday night.
Twilight Cope's Thursday. Um, I think Tuesday's also the shooting Twilight
No, that's
program
Thursday.
is also Thursday.
Yeah, because
Um,
I've helped out with that a few times.
so yeah, the Twilight program split between Tuesday and Thursday. It's just extra stuff we can't normally do.
Mhm.
Cowboy action shooting, boat, night boating, night swims, cope. Just gives scouts an extra time to experience something you might not be able to do. Not a lot of staff's involved in that because they cope. They
Yeah, it's usually program area dependent.
Yeah. So this is a big night for. This is actually our biggest night off for the staff. It's
Yeah.
where most people take off.
Mhm.
Um, or even just most people are just chilling in the camp in the staff
Yeah.
area.
Usually we have a few people who we need to help the triathlon, but usually that's no more than 6 people who
Yeah, it's
just
usually
stand on the trail and point which direction to go.
yeah, yeah. That's Tuesday. Tuesday's pretty simple. Wednesday.
Ooh.
Wednesday's the fun one.
This is your
Uh,
favorite.
this is my favorite. It's unironically my favorite. It is the campers campfire.
Mhm.
Uh,
And
and OA
and
call out.
yeah, OA call out.
OA call out, but like, yeah, I'm not gonna. OA call out's kind of a. It's only really a thing if you're super big into the OA. But campers campfire is where all the scouts and scouters get to perform dumb skits for us, like we perform dumb skits for them on
Mhm.
Sunday night. And I get to tell these kids no to so many skit ideas.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Another thing that'll be included in the million subscriber special, all the banned skits I've had to tell kids no to. But yeah, we get a ton of stuff. I've seen
Mhm.
Invisible Bench. I've seen Patsy Oye. I've seen a bunch of stuff, and it's a shame that there isn't as big of staff presence at this.
Yeah, a lot of the junior staff aren't aware of how much fun it is
Yeah,
because they're off playing Magic or Gaga or whatever it is, and
Yeah,
they it's not mandatory for the staff to be there, and when things aren't mandatory, the staff don't do it.
yeah. Because like again, we're working a lot, so I don't hold it against them.
Yeah.
I'm not when I get up and like remind people about like it's a call out night, campers campfire. I'm encouraging staff to go
Mhm.
because you can like bounce whenever you want, but it's just fun and like
Yeah.
the scouts love seeing the staff there. Like they've pulled us into skits before, pulled us into songs. They engage the audience. Like
Mhm.
it's a fun time and it's kind of adorable seeing what some like the like 12-year-olds come up with and try and do.
Mhm.
Um,
They've had some really creative ideas for skits that I've seen.
oh yeah, no, it it's great. Like I've attended it pretty much whenever I had the chance. Like mostly because I was doing call out stuff, but like even
Yeah.
my first like, summer, it was my routine. Like every
Mhm.
Wednesday night, I'd go to the train post, I'd get an Arizona and a bag of chips, and I'd go to the campers campfire.
Yeah.
I'd sit with some random scouts, and we would have a fun time.
Yeah. I didn't usually go to the campfire because when I was junior staff, I was dumb, just doing nothing. And then once I moved on to being a director and commissioner, uh, I was just working. I was working
Yeah,
through it, or it was my night off.
yeah. But it's a fun time. Thursday, more of the Twilight programs, which we already talked about. Um, the overnighters happen Thursday, both
Hmm.
um, the
Rangers and
Rangers and the
that's one.
Wilderness Survival.
Hmm.
Um, two very different experiences from staff perspective, from what I've been told.
Yeah.
Um, the Rangers overnighter, uh, they all it's another you get what you make out of it.
Uh.
Because some people dread it and some people are like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Uh huh.
Uh, but the Wilderness Survival overnighter, they just they
They
just
just
have a
go.
time.
They
They
just
just
go.
go. They like make a shelter and they improve upon it over the entire summer.
Uh huh.
Um, it's a wild time. Like they're just out there living their best life in the woods.
Hmm. Like there have been because their overnighter site is down on the nature trail at the bottom of the hill there, on the
Yeah,
Bushkill.
they usually shift around each summer to mix it up, but that was last summer's,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was last summer's, and I went hiking through there week 5 or week 6, and they just had a whole tree fort like 10 feet off the ground between two trees.
Yeah,
Like
it's a fun
it's insane what some of them do.
it's a fun one because after because they go out there around 8:30, they built their not 8:30, around 7:30, they built their shelter, but then it's usually about like 10 or 15 campers to an appropriate number of staff, depending on how many campers there are,
Hmm.
maybe a couple leaders to tag along. Then they just build a fire and just hang out and have a
Yeah,
fun time. It's a great thing from what I've been told.
yeah,
And then there's the super secret OA inductions, which matters to no one except the people who are super big into the OA. Um,
yeah.
like,
I didn't do my OA stuff with Cradle because I'm from out of council. I don't even know what goes on in the Cradle of Liberty
yeah,
induction ceremony.
it's the induction. I can't really talk much about it, but
Yeah.
if you're big into the OA, it's where you name the lodge or the first lodge. It's a big deal.
Hmm.
The thing that matters to a lot more people is the ice cream social.
I have attended a few of those.
Yeah, so it's the ice cream social. It's exactly what it sounds like. You go, you get ice cream, you eat ice cream, Um, yeah, in similar vein to the leader swim, you kind of like rub elbows with the staff. You congratulate
New
uh,
ordealies.
newer dealies, new brotherhoods. Uh, but much like desserts during dinner, we have to hold the line against the staff from
Mm,
coming in and eating all the ice cream before um, the campers get it and
mm-hmm.
before the ceremonialists get it.
Yeah,
So like, ooh, ice cream. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you guys haven't noticed, there's a running trend here. The staff will eat anything.
Yes.
You put
We
anything out, and it will be consumed by the staff.
yeah. In the same vein, uh, if you come to camp and you had a great time and you want to find a way to reward the staff, literally food.
Yeah. On it, some of my best memories of interaction with scouts and troops have been, hey, you want to come to our pizza party? We're putting a thing on. Or do you want to come to our grilled cheese party? Because
Uh,
it's a lot of fun for the troops, and as a staff member, it feels so gratifying to be invited.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, we've been eating the same food at camp for 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Anything to break the monotony of the meals is an
Oh
absolute
yeah.
joy.
It's great. That's Thursday. That's usually when a lot of troops do this kind of like evening thing. Um, and then Friday, as mentioned, we got the blue card reconciliation, uh, where any issues with blue cards get sorted out. Staff dread this. We fear it. We run from it. But blue card day still arrives.
Oh yeah, it does.
Um,
And we've both been civics directors in our past. Those equal badges.
yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna get too much into this. I'll be fired. After that, we have our closing ceremony. Um, we recognize campers. We recognize staff. It's a lot more serious than the opening campfire, but
And the campers campfire.
the campers campfire. But yeah, that runs that. After that, there's kind of two things, and this is my favorite dichotomy in all of camp. So after the closing campfire, there is the Scoutmaster Appreciation Cracker Barrel at 9:30. Now this takes place on the porch of porch of the dining hall, because
and
that's where all
then
the food is stored.
and then
And it's the
inside the dining
cracker.
hall,
No, no, I want to explain the leader's appreciation thing first. Uh, Jay, who's this older guy, he runs it. He gets like nice little Cracker Barrels, like some crackers, some cheese cubes, some pepperoni,
some
some
juice,
juice, and there's out there. They're just having a chill time. They're talking with the camp director. They're just having a grand time, a nice chill evening away from their troops while they like have a hectic last night. And then inside the dining hall is
the staff party,
the staff party. Um,
which sometimes if you're in one of the campsites close to the dining hall, you can hear it.
I've
But
gotten
it
complaints.
as have I. If you're in one of the campsites that are far away from the dining hall, you probably haven't.
No,
Uh,
I've heard it from the staff from the arena.
that doesn't surprise me at all, to be honest.
But yeah, the staff party, it's the highlight of the week.
For the
We all
staff.
The staff is what we're looking forward to, where we just kind of like cut loose and have a grand old time.
Mm,
We're definitely gonna be talking about this more in depth in another episode, but
it's our sort of reward for ourselves for a job or a week well done.
yeah, uh,
And
and we theme it. We have food. We cater it ourselves, so we've had food like hot pockets. We've had
wings.
wings.
That's a popular one.
Yeah, we ran the two of us ran a Ren Fair staff party
That was such a good staff party.
with chicken wings. But yeah, this is where the events kind of get wonky because at the Ren Fair staff party, I went overboard. I made house banners for every program area, and then we made LARPing equipment.
I still have my LARPing equipment in the other room.
Oh yeah, so do I. Um, so during the staff party, where I was blasting my Ren Fair playlist while people were munching on wings like kings, I was sitting at a elevated position above a ring I constructed out of tables, while staff members proceeded to beat the snot out of each other with pool noodles.
Honestly, that was one of my favorite staff parties ever.
Oh, it
It
was
was
fun.
so good.
While at the same time, a bunch of leaders, 50, 60-year-old men, were eating cheese and crackers and looking at us and questioning what was going on.
My favorite example of that is the dodgeball staff party.
Oh yeah, we get spectators.
Yeah, we do.
But
Do-
yeah, we've had
dodgeball and Christmas in July get a lot of spectators.
yeah, but we've had it's kind. This is the awkward part of this because they run kind of concurrently. We've had leaders go to the staff party thinking it's the Scoutmaster appreciation, and
Yeah.
then they complain about the staff being there, and we have to explain, no, no, these are separate
Mm-hmm.
things. Go outside.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we've also had calmer ones. We've had like pool parties for like Fourth of July barbecues, so on and
And
so forth.
and then there's from my first year back in 2014, the rave staff party.
We don't talk about that one. But then that usually goes pretty late, and then they regret staying up that late because you have to wake up bright and early the next day for checkout.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta be,
I usually save a can of Monster for checkout.
yeah, we want to be in campsites at like 7:15 checking people out because the
Mm-hmm.
sooner you all get out, the sooner we start our day off, and that's the real deal. Um, but yeah, that kind of covers the evening program. Um, After all the evening program, we go sleepy time or staff don't. But our motto is if you're going to hoot with the owls, you better be able to soar with the eagles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I usually want to try to go to bed early because, again, I was getting up 6-ish to go for
Mm-hmm.
runs. But some people would. This is like they say the witching hour is like what 2 to 3.
Yeah.
The staff witching hour is from whenever your ending evening program is to about 7 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Mischief and chaos and anarchy abound.
Yeah. Uh, there have been plenty of late night work sessions that just, well, I've got all this paperwork due by tomorrow. Better start it. Right,
But
right, right,
also,
right.
but
Oh,
also,
it's 3 a.m.
but you're also kind of just my most common super late night stay is laundry room talks where
Oh yeah.
you get a group, you go in there, do laundry, and then you spend 2 hours just talking about
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Yeah. I usually reserve my laundry for the weekends because that's when the least staff are there.
I used to use my power just in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I up until this past summer I couldn't do that, and then this past summer we got when I was living in Bear we got a laundry room in Bear.
Well, I've justified doing it in the middle of the day to people who complain to me about the fact that admin can do that by saying for every one less person that has to try and do it in the same time frame, the better.
Mm-hmm. Also,
And
it's not like we're not doing things during other times when they have the chance to do their laundry.
yeah,
It's like most staff that are working from 9 to 5 intermittently.
yeah.
a lot of admin. We're working that like 9 to noon, and then from like 5 to 10.
I
Like,
found that there you can't really break down the admin schedule to
yeah,
a set thing. It's kind of just
it's unique to each person.
from I kind of just look at it like you're always on, but
Yeah.
just like to what percentage.
Mm,
There are percentages where it's like 1%, and then there are times where it's like
200.
yeah.
Because it's
So
like
that
most of my afternoons were spent just going around photographing, but like Megan, her whole afternoon was running to program areas doing things.
yeah. So that kind of covers our average days. I don't think is there anything we've missed. I don't
I don't
think
think
so.
so. I mean, there are we talked a lot about program. There are staff who work outside of program,
Yeah.
namely quartermaster staff and administration, commissioners, and up.
We kind of talked about admin because we're both
Yeah.
admin, but dish room's kind of the one
Yep.
forgetting there.
Also,
But
office and TP.
yeah, office and TP, they work so like office TP and quartermaster work very similar shifts to us because to program because
Hmm.
they have to eat. Dining hall kind of works an inverted shift
Yeah.
in that they have off when we're eating. Well,
Eh,
so like for like an average meal for breakfast, I can speak to this because I've actually worked dining hall. Um, so dining hall staff shows up about 7 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little earlier for breakfast to set up.
hmm.
They set up during breakfast. They breakfast eight. That's usually when they eat. They'll eat then, and they'll kind of chill. After breakfast A, during colors, about half of the staff will start cleaning dishes, and then the other half will start setting up for meal B, and then after meal B, they're just cleaning up.
Hmm.
And then as soon as they're done to 12, they have off. At 12, they're usually running half a crew because it's lunch trays. It's super easy. It's
Hmm.
just every now and again go out to the green carts, collect the trays, wash the trays, put the trays back in the line, and keep that loop going. And then dinner works the same way as breakfast.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the dining hall
Hmm.
average day. And then they don't have to do the programs and such.
Yeah. They they're welcome to, but they don't have to.
Yeah,
Like I know last year especially a lot of the dish room was out and about during their break periods, helping out at different program areas and just doing whatever they wanted to do.
they do badges too. They
Yeah.
can do that. So yeah, so that kind of wraps up the first episode, average day. So some general notes about how things are going to be going since this is now official. We're going to be looking to get these published over the weekends and a lot more consistent of a schedule. We're going to be going over a lot of different stuff. But if you're listening to this and it's within uh, registration period for camp, if you want to, uh, head to resicafalls.org or resicafalls.org/virtual if it's summer of 2021, 2021, 2020. And if you're interested, see what we offer.
Hmm.
It's a fun time.
Yep. 4,200 acres of beautiful Pocono land.
Yeah, as we say, it's another beautiful day in the Poconos. But without that, anything else? Thank you for tuning in for this episode. And obligatory YouTube podcast comment of like, comment, and subscribe. I don't think it does anything for us, but
It
do it.
looks good.
looks good. If you get that million subscriber, we'll give you the forbidden episode.
Hmm.
But yeah, until next time, thank you for listening.
Bye.
2, 3. Oh, I don't want no more of Big Spring's life. Hey, G-Mom, I wanna go, but they won't let me go. G-Mom, I wanna go home.
Oh, the egos up at Big Springs, they say we're pretty fly, but we can't find a single tree that we can identify.
Oh, I don't want no more of Big Spring's life. Hey, G-Mom, I wanna go, but they won't let me go. G-Mom, I wanna go home.
Well, it's
Big Springs, we're easy to admire. The knots, the second floor is on fire.
Oh, I don't want no more of Big Spring's life. Hey, G-Mom, I wanna go, but they won't let me go. G-Mom, I wanna go home. Yeah, people playing shooting from my head to my shoes. Oh, I don't want no more of Big Spring's life. Hey, G-Mom, I wanna go, but they won't let me go. G-Mom.